Hey guys, serious question here. Have you ever found yourself comparing your looks to a Photoshop celebrity's photo? Or found yourself questioning your life choices because you're watching someone live their best life on Instagram, vacationing in some magical place that you'd love to go to, and now you feel like shit?
Yeah, maybe you've even compared yourself to a person with a nice car, or maybe even their performance, or maybe you think that they have a better business or better career, all the different things that you can get lost in comparison.
Right, so in this video, we're gonna talk to you about how natural and common it is for you to be faced or even overconsumed with comparison, but we're also gonna show you how we take comparison to use it for the good and to propel us. So let's dive in.
10% of our time thinking is spent on comparison. How smart we are compared to someone else, how fit we are, all the different things that are superficial that we look at and we say, God, I wish I had what they have.
And sometimes it's not even in a negative way, or maybe you don't even notice it. I know I've been in the gym before and someone will have on some pants that look really great on them and I'm like, dang, she's got a nice butt. I mean, that's a form of comparison, knowing that my butt doesn't look like that.
Right.
We're gonna talk to you about how natural it is, but also it doesn't always have to be such a negative thing. Comparison goes way far back.
Yeah, and a lot of times if you're not careful, comparison will take you down a really dangerous path of envy and jealousy and self-deprecation, right? That really puts you to a place where you really start to look at yourself in a real negative light. So we want to help you out with that. We know when we see someone that has tighter abs, maybe large biceps, whatever it may be.
A hotter wife.
You think to yourself, oh my God, I wish I had those abs.
Or
maybe you see someone do something amazing and they are achieving it and they're younger than you, right? And that really hits you hard. So, and there are times when I'm with my friends and we're talking and they're talking about their achievements. They're talking about, the different things they're gonna do, what they bought, the house they bought. Investments and all those things will trigger you and trigger me to a point where I feel like I'm behind, that I'm not and that I'm inadequate. But the reality is that their achievement is proof that it can be done.
Right, so that's tip number one. When you see other people winning or thriving, it's just simply evidence that it's available to you too.
Yeah, and it's not evidence that you're not enough. It's not evidence that you're inadequate. What it is telling you that if someone can possibly do it, you can too.
Right.
And what you have to do is look at what they did, how they did it, and maybe incorporate it in your life.
I love that. So that's a really good tip to practice in order to not feel like a loser when you see other people winning, especially when you see other people winning that you love or that you admire, right? And so taking that admiration and turning it into proof or evidence is something that's really helpful for you to do when you feel comparison rear its ugly head. So one of the ways that comparison shows up for me is when I see someone else do something that I know that I've been putting off. So I'll give you an example. We have a friend that recently wrote and published a book, and although I was really excited about, his accomplishment, it triggered something in me which I thought was, a little bit of jealousy or envy, but really it was comparison to the fact that he had done the work to, write the book and publish it, and I just hadn't been doing the work.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is I like to watch other people win, and when I feel like it might be triggering me, I use it to nudge myself, because it's basically like something nudging you to say, hey, you're upset about this because you know that it's available to you too, and you've got the potential to do this too. You're just not really focused right now.
What that person has done has triggered you to raise your bar, to improve your capacity to do more. And I think that is a great way to motivate and get yourself inspired to take action.
Yeah, so if you find yourself comparing yourself to other people's accomplishments, the first thing you gotta do is ask yourself, why does it even bother me?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it's gonna bother you because you know that it's something that you're not showing up for in your life. You're not putting 100% effort in. You're not dedicating the time and focus that's required to also have those same results or also achieve that. So I always flip it, and I always use it as a nudge to push myself to lean into my potential.
Love it. All right, tip number 3. When you see someone do something amazing, spectacular, it should remind you that they are focused on their own purpose and calling.
And you need to focus on yours too.
Absolutely. And like Janelle just said in the last example, sometimes these things are triggering and they should move you to action. And what we're saying in this third example is to allow it to refocus you on your own calling and your own purpose.
Right. And so there is no timeline. I know, especially as I get older, one of the things I find myself doing is like not necessarily comparing my age to someone else's, because I know that I've had the opportunity to celebrate many more birthdays than some younger people. But you do, aging does something to you. It starts to make you kind of question, and am I going to get old and wrinkled? Or, women, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. I'm maybe looking at someone younger than myself, like questioning my age, but also one of the things I could celebrate is I'm so much wiser. I've had way more birthdays. I've got way more accomplishments. And so knowing that you're on the right journey and this is your purpose and this is your life and this is your timeline is really important to remind yourself sometimes, because when you're looking at someone else's life or accomplishments and comparing theirs to yours, you're basically wanting to run their race or participate in their journey. And you just need to focus on your own, because you're exactly where you should be at the exact right time.
I think that the most powerful thing that we have is our ability to observe our own lives, right? And that's the power we have to will. And when we look at other people's lives and we want to get in their lane, we're taking our eyes off our own will and our own lane. And that is one recipe of disaster, of not achieving things that you truly want to achieve. So stay focused on your own lane, make comparison a thing that you can use and not get abused by it.
Right.
All right, here's a quick recap of what we just covered. Number 1, it's proof and evidence.
Number 2, use it as a nudge to push you into action.
And number 3, allow what you're seeing to refocus you on your own calling and purpose.
Focus on your own dang goals. So we hope that this video was helpful for you. Be sure to subscribe for more conversations on comparison, business, life, lots of other things that we like to talk about. And be sure to head over and listen to the Push podcast, where weekly we give you a new episode on titles like this one. We hope that this helps you, and be sure to stay in your lane.
Push through.